Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralf Friedrichs. You know, Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend we had a couple functions. One was a wedding of a nephew of ours who got married, and then the reception. So where I'm going with this is that even sober people find it very hard sometimes to be at settings where there is a lot of alcohol. In this case, there was an open bar. Then the next day, we had a follow-up family get-together where a couple coolers full of beers, there was wine being served, and again, where maybe some weaker people in sobriety might be tempted to possibly relapse. But today's topic, what I want to talk about, is 10 ways to stay sober at drinking events. These are things that I've learned. These are things that I want to share with you. But first, I want to give a shout out to Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-485-2741. That's 516-485-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. You can find him on Google, www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach. He's a life coach. He will help you from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand, day by day. He will always concentrate on today and tomorrow, not ever looking back, because the past cannot change. Give Larry Geis a call at 516-485-2741. You let Larry know that you heard about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralf Friedrichs. GlobalEyeglasses.com, they are focused on saving you money. They will help you with your frame selection because they have over 1,200 frames to choose from, folks. They have lenses like photochromatic, transition, progressive, blind bifocal, tinted, clear, thinner, anti-reflecting coating, UV coating. Those are all the options available at GlobalEyeglasses.com. Let them focus on saving you money. Don't you want to save some money, folks? If you need help placing your order, text me at 631-599-0218 or call me at 844-405-HELP. I have over 30 years experience in the optometry business. I've helped almost 200 people from my audience that have contacted me. I have helped you pick your frame, your lenses, and today you can see better. Go to www.globaleyeglasses.com. Let them focus saving you money. 10 ways to stay sober at drinking events. Going to weddings, barbecues, and concerts and parties may be an enormous challenge to you, especially in early sobriety. The fear of being exposed as a person that doesn't drink, or possibly being so tempted that you actually end up drinking, is quite overwhelming. For me, there was always that uncomfortable time before the event when I first became sober, when my mind would go in circles as I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, how I was going to say it, and even if I was going to be able to say the all. And of course, how will the other person react? Will they push on? Will they ask why? Will they laugh at me? Will I have to explain why I don't drink? Will I feel left out? Will I feel uncool? Will I have any fun? Lots to worry about, right? But one of the greatest things I have learned in recovery was whatever the fear I carry about whatever situation I'm facing, it always appears to me to be much bigger than the actual fear itself. And drinking events are no exception. My great fear that I will be the only person not drinking, and that everyone else will notice that I am the only person not drinking, and that will be enough to make me feel like everyone is staring at me and pointing at me as a huge pimple on my very top of my nose just because I am not drinking, is completely not true. Hence my Saturday and Sunday experience. What usually happens is that no one even notices why I am not drinking, and no one cares that I am not drinking, and then I feel disappointed that no one noticed or cared that I was not drinking, right? That is pretty funny. Nevertheless, I can completely understand and relate to all those feelings, however absurd they may turn out at the end. So to help with some of the fear and anxiety, I have picked up several tools to help me along, and I'd like to help you along with the same. Here are 10 things that might be helpful to you. Number 1, if you're very early in your sobriety stage, sometimes my recommendation for you is not to go. This alone will save you every time. I know sometimes it's not possible not to go, like a family wedding. Or you might think that absolutely have to go. Let me tell you firsthand, no, you do not have to go. Unless, of course, it's an immediate family wedding or something, or a funeral or whatever. But at funerals or wakes, you don't have alcohol usually. The key here is to be honest with yourself. If you're not comfortable with it, and you feel like you might feel uncomfortable enough to pick up a drink, seriously, don't go. You surely don't need an extra pressure. This was, and still is, most important decision I had to make in my early recovery. I have no business being at an event where drinking is the main event unless it is absolutely necessary. Going to a bar for, let's say, a bachelor party. Folks, if you're in early recovery, don't go. However, there are circumstances that you might have to go. Number 2 on my list is make sure that your feelings and heart are in a good space. If your experience at the onset of starting to feel like you just don't care anymore, this means that you may be putting yourself in danger. If you are already sad, mad, or resentful, and you go to a drinking event, because that will cause a relapse. Since we are used to using alcohol to self-medicate ourselves, in some cases drugs, and we tend to drink at things or at people, a place where alcohol is readily available, might cause an immense trigger. In this case, I would choose not to attend the event, and you need to really be very secure in your sobriety. Usually, if you're a day, a week, or a month, I wouldn't attend any social function that does serve alcohol. Once you have reached plateaus, 6 months, a year, a couple of years, things become easier, and I promise you that. Number 3, go to a meeting before you attend the event. If you are open to AA or Smart Recovery or any other support group, or even texting me at 631-599-0218, going to a meeting can give you the extra confidence that you definitely need. Chances are that you will get some extra support, and great support there, as well as new ideas on how to cope during certain events. It is always helpful to hear the first-hand from people who have already done what you have done, but successfully without relapsing. Number 4, have a plan and be prepared to follow it. Played out a couple of what-if scenarios. Make a decision on what you will do when it becomes too slippery for you to stay at the event. Whether you will call someone or text them or get some quiet time outside or just plainly leave, make a plan so when the pressure gets overwhelmingly, you know what you need to do to escape from that situation. Number 5, take a friend or a buddy with you, preferably a non-drinking one or a non-drugging one, and one that understands how important it is for you not to drink. Having a support person right there with you is really empowering, and there is always strength in numbers. Number 6, bring some mints, gum, or candy. I find that this has helped me with the cravings lots of times, as well as it deterred me from eating too much food, which I have done in a few locations as a replacement for drinking. This may be important, as we often tend to replace one habit with another, like I was explaining to a gentleman yesterday. Yes, I gave up my drinking, but I, in the beginning, started going in a rapid amount of consumption of candy. Then I cut down, and etc. So you have to be careful of how you substitute one habit for another. Of course, the worst habits would be alcohol and drugs. Eating is a habit, but it's not as crucial as that. Number 7, get a non-alcoholic drink as you get there. And you know, it's funny this number 7 is coming up because a picture was taken of my wife and I with me holding a small clear cup that I assure you only had lemonade in it. But ironically, you put that picture on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and people might get the impression that I was drinking some sort of alcoholic beverage. So hope, I mean, if they question me, that's fine, you know, because I know what's in the cup, but still. I put a little caption underneath, a nice refreshing lemonade, which in fact it was. Get a Coke, club soda, or cranberry or orange juice, then stick a lime on the rim, and wow, it's done. It looks like a drink. You can also ask for a virgin, non-alcoholic versions of strawberry daiquiri, pina colada, or even margarita. With a drink in hand already, chances are that no one will be asking you what you are drinking. And folks, there will be people that will, and believe me, I know this, and, you know, you don't want to drink? Why? Or how about just a beer? Folks, if you're living life of sobriety, if you are in recovery, what you need to do is stay 100% in sobriety. And there is no 99% recovery in sobriety and 1% of cheating. There is not. It's either you do or you don't. You live, or eventually you will die of diseases caused by drugs and alcohol, or death by crashing. So make the decision, yes or no, period. Number 8, when asked if you'd like something to drink, say yes. Don't say no. Then ask for one of the non-alcoholic drinks mentioned above that I just did. If you're specifically being asked if you would like an alcoholic drink, no thank you, and that's all. Don't need to explain. There really is no need for explanation, and you might want to ask again for a non-alcoholic drink anyway. In worst case scenario, and if someone is insistent to get you an alcoholic drink, just walk away or change the conversation. For example, compliment the waiter on their uniform. People love to hear compliments, and it often distracts them enough to forget what they were doing before. Another helpful tactic is to say that you are taking medications and that you have adverse reaction with alcohol, or that you have been sick and are trying to get better. Of course, if you're feeling up to it, and I completely understand if you do not, saying that you are choosing to stay sober probably is the best way to get a persistent person off your back. And you know what? I explained this yesterday at a table, at a function that I was at, that transparency is most important. If you have a problem admitting you are an alcoholic to people or addicted to drugs, and that's why you don't want an alcoholic drink, or you don't want that painkiller, if you have a problem explaining that you might have to take a self-inventory because you are still living some sort of denial. Transparency is important. I am not ashamed to admit it. I would be ashamed if I did not talk about it. Of course, if you're feeling up to it, I completely understand. If you do not, saying that you are choosing to stay sober is probably the surest way to get a persistent person off your back, and maybe even get a high five and a congratulations. Really, this has happened to me. It happened to me all weekend. And I strongly believe that all need to be extremely proud of being sober. It is a plateau, a milestone for you, and if you are, congratulations. Number 9, call, text your support person if you have one. People, text me at 631-599-0218. Call me at 844-405. I'm sorry, my dogs threw me off a little bit. 844-405-HELP. Call me. If you are not able to bring a buddy, have one available, or to contact while you are at an event, sometimes just talking to someone who understands, or just talk to someone about something completely different, is all you need to get your mind off the cravings. Remember, cravings are temporary, and they do go away. Number 10, leave. This action alone will save you from the temptations and all the frustrations that come with those temptations. This may not always be possible to do, but if you can, just sneak out, pretending to go to the bathroom, or just go outside or get something that you forgot in your car. Trust me, your sobriety is important enough to remove yourself from any dangerous or tempting situations at any time. I know this may not appear to be easy at all. I understand. I avoided many events in the beginning because I wanted to protect my sobriety at any and all cost. Of course, at some point, I wanted to have a social life too, so I was ready and willing to take all necessary steps to ensure that my sobriety was number one and not in jeopardy. Oh, And folks, please don't forget to have fun. These are the 10 steps, and let's just go over the title of each step. Don't go to the event if you feel uncomfortable. Make sure that, number 2, make sure that your feelings and the heart are in a good place. Make sure you feel secure with your decision to be sober. Try to go to meetings, make a phone call, text people like myself. Number 4, have a plan and be prepared to follow it. Don't go off the path of your plan. Number 5, take a buddy with you, a buddy that maybe is also sober or understands sobriety fully. Number 6, bring some mints, gum, and candy. It will not only help you not think about the alcohol as much because you're chewing on something or you're eating something, but also stop you from eating too much food. Number 7, get a non-alcoholic drink as soon as you get there. I had my lemonade, had a picture taken with a clear cup of lemonade. Number 8, when asked if you'd like something to drink, just say yes, a non-alcoholic drink. Number 9, call, text a support person if you feel that you are in some sort of crisis or you're starting to question your sobriety. Do that. And number 10 is leave. Find a reason to just get up and leave. There is no shame in leaving. Folks, I utilized my Saturday wedding and my Sunday get-together as a tool of letting people know how I live in sobriety, and also a marketing tool, because I do want to promote my show. I want to promote my websites so people like you continuously get these feeds into your house, into the homeless shelters, into the jails, into no matter where you might be sitting, in a rehab center or in church. I want to be able to make sure that I continuously videotape these events, these steps for you to educate yourselves, to advance that education to other people and share what I tell you. People always question me, why do you do what you do? And here's my simple answer: is because this, my friend, is my rehab. When I do these videos or my show or my websites, or when people talk to me, it is my rehab, because it gives me sobriety, education, recovery, education 24/7. I do it daily. I think about it daily. It is not merely just showing up at an AA meeting for an hour and a half and listening to people's stories and saying, we just got a day back because we relapsed today, we start all over today. We relapsed yesterday and we start all over today. And to me, that's not acceptable. Yes, I accept the fact that people will relapse. Yes, I accept the fact that people will get up and dust their knees and keep walking, but I don't accept the fact that we can just admit we relapsed and just say it's okay, let's start all over, because a relapse is an accident. It's not something to be utilized as a cushion to keep drinking or to keep doing drugs. Relapses happen to all of us, but it is not okay. We need to learn why, what triggered that relapse, what caused that relapse, and we need to educate ourselves. And it is these shows, this show, and these videos, and my websites that continuously want to educate you when I help educating myself daily. Folks, no matter where you are, your home, at the homeless shelter, the hospital, the rehab center, no matter where you are, if you start thinking positive in life, positive things will happen. If you eliminate the negativity, negative results will disappear. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and I was saying I truly believe in karma, and of course some people don't. But I truly believe if you're good to others, good things will happen to you. Yes, you might not reap the benefits right away. It could be a year, it could be 10 years, but they're coming. And if anything, by helping others, it'll make you feel good. Teach your children to say no to drugs and alcohol. Be the role model. If you don't want them to drink, you don't want them to do smoke, and you don't want them to use profanity, don't you do it in your own home. They look at you as their hero, their role model. If you need to do those 3 things, as drinking, smoking, and profanity, do it on the outside. From 0 to 18, it is your responsibility as the parent to make sure that you guide and direct your child to the best of your ability. As much as our God guides and directs us when we seek His help, every person that seeks recovery, sobriety and goes through recovery has to face the one step that's very important, that's to seek your higher power. Carrie Underwood sang it in the song Jesus Take the Wheel, and it's about God taking the wheel of your life. Let Him navigate, guide, and direct you. I hope to God, no matter where you are watching me, folks, no matter where you are, that you have the best day of your life. But I really hope and I really pray, no matter where you are, that you have a sober rest of your life. And may God bless you.